This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashem al-Shai of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahushua,
Barakatah Yahushua,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahushua,
Barakatah Yahushua,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahushua,
Barakatah Yahushua,
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Rakah,
Rakah,
Quadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders, great millstone, still well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. All right, with the brothers in Great Millstone, Mississippi. All right, and today we get into the topic of it's bigger than black. Okay, because you have a lot of Israelites that like to believe that this thing that we're involved in is based off of color, you know, or it was based off of you know, your exterior, you know, how you look as an individual. But see, that doesn't matter to the Heavenly Father. All right, it's determined by your gene, you know, your lineage. The Lord deals with lineages, not colors. Okay, because you're gonna come to find out at the end of the day, for those of the hopeful elect that are the elect that are delivered, we gonna come looking like everybody. So you can drop that color shit, man. You know, like y'all hear that we were black Hebrew Israelites. We're not black, first and foremost. Okay. There's 12 tribes within our nation. All right. And it not only makes up so-called black people. Okay. Drop these different false identities and false ideologies that your oppressor, your captor, Esau Edom gave you. Okay. We're Israelites. And the brother just read the children or sons. Now the word children really means sons. In the Hebrew, that's bunya. All right. So the sons of Israel, which are the northern kingdom. Today you call them Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics. Okay. The indigenous people of North, Central, and South America. You know, I said North America, but, you know, beginning with Canada. All right. The indigenous peoples of Canada, North America, Central America, and South America, and also the West Indian Islands, you know, the Caribbean Islands. You know, the people that were originally here before Esau Edom came over here. All right. That represents Israel, the northern kingdom. See, because our nation was split after the time period of King Solomon. All right. And see, that's hidden history. See, Esau Edom doesn't want you to know that. But see, it's no coincidence that the main people that are demonized, labeled as criminals, thugs, etc., in Esau Edom's empire are so-called black and brown people. You know, these will be the so-called brown people, the northern kingdom. We're all lumped into the same damn boat, man. Why is that? Like the brother, he bringing out, it's bigger than black, man. You know? So the sons of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the sons of Judah, who would Judah be? The so-called Negroid people. All right? So-called black. We say so-called black. The people that are brought over here in cargo slave ships. All right, that's the southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Collectively, sometimes we're all called Judah. Okay, but that's really dealing with 3 tribes. All right, now Judah, you had the tribe of Judah, but also sometimes collectively they're called Judah altogether. The kingdom of Judah. Sometimes they're collectively called Jews. All right, but the point is, like brother had read, we're oppressed together. Why? Same people. Because you can come to find out, if you don't already know, they're under the curses too. You know, you got it, bro.
You know, so just like Saquon was getting into, you know, because when you think of Israelites, you know, you automatically think, you know, of the Negro, you know, but we also got to keep in mind, man, that the so-called, all right, Latinos and so-called Native Americans and Seminole Indians are Israelites, man. You know, Now they went a different way to get to America, all right, but they ended up over here for prophecy's sake, you know. And the East and the Most High, He sent the sword after them, as the curses would say, which we're going to get into that, you know. But we got this video, all right, dealing with what you know, the Conquistadors, all right, and the word Conquistador is just Spanish for conquerors, all right, on how they did, you know, the Northern Kingdom, you know, mainly dealing with the two prominent empires, the Incas and the Aztecs.
Yep.
You know, so we're gonna go into their history, you know, and just do some commentary with the scriptures, you know, just to put some emphasis, you know, on the Northern Kingdoms, man. You know.
From their unyielding thirst for gold to their destruction of the Aztecs and Incas, stay tuned to number 1 to find out 10 crazy facts about the Spanish conquistadors. Number 10. Who made up the group? The conquistadors are one of the most famous and infamous groups in the history of the world because of their exploits. And their leader, Cortez, is etched into history as well. But there is one stigma or stereotype that is often associated with the group, mainly that they were all Spanish. Cortez was Spanish, and much of the group was Spanish at birth. However, the whole group itself wasn't. After all, the conquistadors traveled quite a bit, and this allowed them to go to many new countries. And in those countries were people who were willing to become part of their crusade. To that end, 2 of the most famous conquistadors, not named Cortez, were Greek and German. They were very happy to torture, maim, and kill in the name of the crusade. Not surprisingly, not only were their demises pretty bad themselves, one of them wasn't even brought back to his own country for burial. He was left to rot in an unmarked grave. Not the heroic end they were probably looking for.
Now, see, something this guy that's narrating this failed to mention is that they also had the Moors a part of their army. You know, now they're not going to tell you that, you know, but the Moors were part of their army too. You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, and they're working for these people. They're working for, you know, in particular, Hernan Cortez. Well, guess what? When Hernan Cortez, him and his men were raping and pillaging these different villages, you know, of the the Aztecs, you know, and they were raping the women and leaving seed in those women. All those seeds weren't by Edomites. Some of those seeds were by the Moors. You know, and I was even telling brothers a while back, you know, because, you know, me and the Elder Bun, we had made a trip to Mexico a while back, some years ago, you know, and then I had went down to Guatemala. But a lot of the architecture that they have down there, you know, mainly in Mexico, but basically it resembles the, you know, similar architecture that was in Spain, that was made by the Moors. Okay, it's damn near exact, man. All right, a lot of those different colonial houses. Okay, but why is that? Because a lot of the Moors came over here, man, and they were working for the conquistadors. So guess what? So many generations later, you know, you have, you know, some of our people. See, you might think it's an Issacharite, or you might think it's a Spaniard, but it could be just somebody from a straight up Southern Kingdom. You know, may look different. See, cut that color shit out, man. And like the brother Yakanan from Memphis said, Shalom, you know, Yahweh Bashim Shabrakta. Like brother had said, you know, black means negative. So why would you want to be associated with something that means negative? You know, cut that out, man. But as you can see, they not only had, as he said, you know, Spanish people in their army. You know, you got it, bro.
Just a quick precept, you know, because you gotta think, you know, why was it so much hatred, you know, between these people, man? You know, because you gotta think, South America, Central America, that wasn't the only place of resources and gold. You know, you got the whole earth. you know. But why did they come straight here, man? Because of that enmity that's between these two nations, man.
Yep.
You know. So I'm gonna go to Genesis 3:15. It says, "And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed."
Yeah. So that was this prophecy coming to pass. You know, enmity, opposition. Okay, friction. You know, between the seed of the serpent, which are the Edomites, you know, and in particular right here, the Conquistadors, those of them that are Edomites, all right? And then you had a seed of the woman, who's the woman Israel, okay? Because a woman doesn't have seed, it's talking about a nation. You know, Jeremiah, was it 6:2? You know, the Lord likened us into a comely, which is a beautiful and delicate woman, speaking about the nation of Israel, all right? Dealing with the men, because the Lord said he's married unto us. All right. But you're always going to have that opposition between the seed of Esau and the seed of Jacob. And that's what you've seen take place when the conquistadors came over here. And there are even certain statues, you know, certain figurines, and you Issacharites, man, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. You know, you so-called Aztec warriors, you know, some of y'all still call yourselves that. That's why I said that. But you so-called Mexicans, you know, you claim to be proud of your history, so to speak. You have no idea, man, really who you are, and you you know, you parade yourself around the earth as if you didn't get conquered, man. And a lot of y'all in your restaurants, you'll have these different figurines of actual conquistador on a horse. I've seen it, man. A damn conquistador on a horse, and you may have the you know, the so-called native under him, you know, and that's just in a restaurant. So you're cursed, man. All right? Wake up. You proud of being conquered, man. And y'all speak that goddamn Spanish. They ain't shit to be proud of, man. They ain't your native language. Even just dealing with y'all, you know, your different languages and dialects you had over here before the Spanish arrived. That was taken away from you. And that's not your original language. But see, it was better than that goddamn Spanish you speaking. And you look at us some type of way because we don't speak it, man. They look at you as a damn light-skinned Spanish-speaking nigga, man. And some of y'all dark-skinned too. We the same people. That's what the spirit is getting on, man. To hell with that color shit. All right? You got it, bro.
This is Genesis 25. Just to continue on with that narrative of that the enmity. All right, and this is Genesis 25:21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her.
They struggled, meaning they were grappling. Like wrestling, they were fighting. You know, and that's not normal. Because see, you know, if there's twins, you know, especially you know, if they're identical, but even fraternal, see, that bond they have, really they're supposed to be close. If anything. So why are they fighting? You know, go ahead, bro.
And it says, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
So, Lord, if you bless me to have these sons, why are they fighting in my womb? Because at first she wanted to get pregnant, you know? You know, they inquired of a prophet, you know? And so they ended up going back to the prophet. I know what's going on here.
Yep.
You got it, bro.
And it says, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 men of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Yeah. So that was all prophecy right there. And you had something else?
No, just because you go to the word oppress. I mean, struggle, it means to severely oppress.
Yep.
And what we're finna watch in this the rest of this little quick documentary, you know, is how, you know, Esau, he will get the upper hand and oppress. You know, hey, once Esau came out them caves, once he came out them Caucasus Mountains, you know, once he started infiltrating, you know, because you had the Byzantine Empire fell first, you know, Constantinople, and then you had the Spanish, the Moorish Empire going to Granada in 1492, you know, and then after that, Esau went global with his hatred for Jake, man, you know, and he really brought it to the northern kingdom first because they was already here, because they had to conquer the northern kingdom first, and then they had to bring the colonized slaves, all right, from the slave coast, man. You know, to come over here and work, because they worked the shit out the northern kingdom, man. You know, a lot of northern kingdom couldn't handle their work, man. You had the expectancy when they put the northern kingdom in captivity in those gold mines and those sugar cane fields. The average life expectancy, all right, was like 22, 23 years old, man. You see, so they had to replace them with a lot of northern kingdom, like the brother says, a lot of Central South American. They might look like, you know, Southern Kingdom, you know, I mean Northern Kingdom, but they're really Southern Kingdom, man. You know, because Jake had to go down there, you know. But let it play some more.
Number 9, the quest for gold. All crusades need purpose, and the conquistadors were no different. They were actually motivated by Christopher Columbus, whose adventures in the New World proved that there were things in these undiscovered lands that were ripe for the taking, if they were willing to brave the dangers. Cortez most certainly was, and so he went and gathered up an army and sailed to South America. Their biggest motivation was gold, which would be a motivating factor for many explorers to come, and they made their way for South America where they knew the gold would be. This started a long and bloody crusade, one that ended 2 different empires via the Aztec and Incan cultures. But to be clear, the conquistadors didn't just take the gold. They were also rather clever sometimes. They could tell that the native people weren't fully knowledgeable about who they were, and by that token could be tricked. So sometimes they went to the people and said that they had a disease of heart. And how do you cure such a disease? Why, with gold, of course. Not everyone fell for this, obviously, so they did the more basic measures then. But some did fall for their different ploys, making their conquests even greater.
Yeah, so they robbed them.
Great. Technology versus...
They robbed them, man. You know? Yeah, scripture real quick. Come. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled.
Yep, and you're gonna go in, you know, when you understand those Aztec and Inca empires, you know, were rich in gold. You know, it was one what chief there was that brought the conquistadors like so much gold, you know, it's like a ransom, you know, but they still wouldn't leave him alone. I think it was a room. He filled up a room so high with gold and so wide.
Was that the Incan Empire?
It might have been the Inca, you know, but they brought the conquistadors so much gold to leave the land, but they took their gold and stayed there, man.
Yeah.
All right. He can never have enough, man. You know, so Esau, you know, he really spoiled, you know, the Northern Kingdom, man, when he came over here, man. You know, because now a lot of those Northern Kingdom, them lands, you know, what Trump called them shithole country. But they was rich in resources. They was rich in gold, man. You know?
Now, this should be it, bro.
Come on.
Now it says about the ransom of Atahualpa. Atahualpa. All right, just see if I can run through it. And it says on November 16, 1532, Atahualpa. Now, because remember, like brother's going into, the conquistadors, they conquered the Aztecs and the Incas. All right, so in this case, dealing with the Incas. But real quick, it says Atahualpa, Lord of the Inca Empire, agreed to meet with a handful of bedraggled foreigners who had intruded upon his realm. These foreigners were some 160 Spanish conquistadors under the command of Francisco Pizarro, and they treacherously attacked and captured the young Inca emperor. Atahualpa offered to bring his captors a fortune in ransom, and he did so. The amount of treasure was staggering. The Spanish, nervous about reports of Inca generals in the area, executed Atahualpa anyway in 1533.
Damn, so that's the devil, man. You know, he brought this man a room full of gold. You know, he brought the conquistadors a room full of gold, but they still killed them, you know, and they still went forward to conquer, you know, that land, man. You see? So just like that precept you read again, bro. And it's gonna go into it, man. You know?
Woo! Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled.
Yep.
And dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee.
Yeah, because he held up to his end of the bargain. He was like, look, I'm gonna give you such and such gold, you know, let me go. And you know, y'all can go back because y'all came for gold, right? Well, okay, we'll give you the gold.
And it's spiritual, because damn, bro. Now this is on, you know, the Google search engine. Now they have, why did the Incas fill a room with gold once the Spanish arrived in the Inca Empire? It didn't take long for Atahualpa to realize that the Spanish were there for gold and silver.
Yeah. The
Spanish had wasted no time in looting corpses and the temples. These motherfuckers.
Yeah, they let you know that was them raiding them tombs, you know, over there in Egypt. You know? Esau just, you know, he can never have enough, man. He can't never just let nothing be, man.
Was the destruction of Jerusalem 70 AD? They raided our temple.
Yep. Yep.
Took everything. And the temples of Cajamarca, Atahualpa was made to understand that he would be freed if he paid enough. He offered to fill a room with gold and then twice over with silver. Like you said, they still killed him.
They still killed him, man. You know? So Esau, Edom, that's why the scriptures say, you know, in James 2:13.
Say judgment without mercy.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
James 2:13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy.
Yep. Go ahead.
And mercy rejoiceth against judgment.
See, Esau, Edom showed no mercy, man. And that was a prime example, man. Here it is, man, that gave you this much gold, gave you a ransom, you know, to leave, you know. And what you do, man, you dealt treacherously with them, man. You showed no mercy, man, you know. So Esau got a hell of a judgment coming, man. But see, remember, this is all dealing with the northern kingdom. Because Esau put in his movies, you know, you just see movies like Roots and 12 Years of Slavery. They really don't go into, you know, the atrocities that happen in Central South America.
Yeah, they don't touch on that. Hey, because you got that movie Apocalypto. God damn it, they should have showed you the rest of what happened when the Spanish arrived. See, that's when the movie went off.
Yeah.
They should have kept going. You know. I'm gonna finish it off for you, bro.
Yeah, bro.
All right, back in Isaiah 33.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it says, when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. Woo. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
Yep. So all the wickedness Esau soul is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And see, just like they spoiled, you know, our empires, we finna spoil their empires, man. All right. Wherever Esau got his storehouses at, we come to get that, man.
That's right.
Anything of substance that Esau has will be translated, all right, to the elect of Israel, man. You know, under Yahushua. You see? That was it, bro.
Kind of it.
This is Numbers. Before we talk about the modern technologies of the Spanish, take a moment to like this video and join the Zero to Hero community by subscribing below. Don't forget to click that little notification bell too. That will make sure you're always notified of our newest videos. As noted, the conquistadors made their names by dominating not one, but two ancient cultures. And they did it with brutal efficiency. But that begs the question, why were they that efficient? What was it about the conquistadors that made them so devastating a fighting force? Well, the answer is not their numbers. In fact, Cortez had a smaller army in both of his campaigns against the Aztecs and the Incans. But what he lacked in numbers, he made up for with armor and weapons. The advancements of the Spanish people were much greater than that of the Aztecs or Incans. The Spanish had not only developed cannons, but still armor and crossbows that could far outpace the basic bow and arrows that the native people had. Plus, because of the armor, which covered their bodies and head, they could take greater beatings and keep going, whereas a single bolt from a crossbow could easily take out any of the native people. Plus, while primitive, they did have muskets, and they used them to strike fear into the natives, causing them to panic and flee. Number 7, how did they get so ruthless? The main motivation.
So you just heard, you know, how did they overcome? All right, it was with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Esau had that sword. That was his blessing. All right. So when you go into Esau's blessing, you're gonna get it in Genesis. Then you're gonna get it in Revelation, man. This man was blessed with that sword, man, and that's why if if the Incas couldn't take Esau down back then, you damn sure don't have a chance now, man. You know, this is Genesis 27 and 39. Well, I thought, 39. It says, Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. You know, so Esau was blessed with that sword from Isaac, you know, and he was going to live by that sword, man. You know,
Hey, to save me too, because I heard this guy break it down. Now he could be Edomite, could be Israelite foreigner. I'm not sure. There's neither here nor there. But the guy was breaking down how when Cain murdered his brother Abel, basically he used a piece of technology. Like the way the guy explained it, that sword is like a piece of technology. Although it wasn't advanced, there was still a piece of technology. So look how far this devil has expanded with that sword, man. Now I'm gonna get the word for sword.
Yeah.
All right. Now the Hebrew word for sword is karab. Karab. All right. Now they have sword, knife, tools for cutting stone. The Strong's definition. Now it says, it's from H2717, drought, also a cutting instrument from its destructive effect.
and you see, what did they bring? They brought cannons. That's what made, the Northern Kingdom look at Esau like a guy, man. The loud noises that they made. You see, that musket, hey, it was like, some technology that they never seen from out of this realm. And Esau has always had that edge over everyone in the earth. And see, that's Esau's, that's how he preserved himself through the sword. Like a chameleon can change color, like the turtle, it can get in the shell. You see? Well, Esau's defense mechanism in the earth is that sword. That's why he's always been steps ahead of everyone else, with this sword, man. But we've seen it on display.
Yeah. Now when you scroll down, this is where it gets good. Okay, damn. It exited out. It's a lot.
I'm good, bro.
All right, verse 40. Now for sword, going back to it. Once again, the Hebrew is karab. Now when you read in a Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, all right, they have sword as laying waste. As laying waste. Yep, as laying waste.
Others and having the significant edge.
Yeah. It's having the signification edge. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, because Esau, Edom, like I said, that was always his edge over everyone else in the earth, man. Even when you go to World War II, what did he have over all the other nations, man? The atomic bomb. You see?
They give him the edge.
Yeah, they gave him that edge, man. So that sword was always this man's edge and how he would get the fatness of the earth, man. And we're seeing that playing out. Now, you go to Revelation 6 and 4, and it says, and there went out another red horse, and there went out another horse that was red.
Right. Now, these horses, these goes into, it goes to different prophecies. The horse signifies power. All right, so these are different powers. And this power right here was red. you know, going back to Esau, Edom. The first came out red all over. All right. So he's talking about Esau. Go ahead, bro.
And power was given to him that set their own to take peace from the earth.
To take peace from the earth. Go ahead, bro.
And that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
Right. And who does that remind you of? It reminds you of Cain. And it reminds you of Esau. It's basically chaos. Because that's what that sword brings, man. You know, destruction. You know, like it told you, as laying waste, you know, a signification edge, you know, signifying the edge. All right. Like the brother said, that he has over everyone. All right. You know what I'm saying? And he used it mainly against our people. You know, we was the first people that he basically experimented that sword on.
I got Amos 1:11. It said,
bro, now you got it.
Amos 1:11, thus said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother, all right, with the sword. So is he doing this to Aztecs and the Incas? Those are Israelites.
Yep.
All right. Because he would use this weapon mainly on Jake. You know, now he uses on other nations, man, but the priority is always Jake, man. There's no documented history, you know, where this man went this hard on another nation with their sword, man.
Yeah, he goes this far because, like we read, like the brother had read, 2 nations were in Rebecca's womb. These 2 fraternal twin brothers would produce 2 different nations with 2 different natures. All right, you know, 2 different distinct nations, man. All right, and we have a spiritual blessing, they have a carnal blessing, and they damn sure been using it, like the brother said, man. You got it.
Gonna read on, and it says, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword and did cast off all pity.
Who is his brother? Jacob. And cast off all pity, meaning what? Showed no mercy, man. Go ahead.
And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Because he's always going to be this way against us, man. He's programmed to be this way. It's like the elder brothers of Hobby had mentioned that movie Small Soldiers. You know, you got the commandos and what's the other one? Toys, the Gorgonites, something like that. It's basically the Gorgonites represented Jacob, which basically Gorgonites represented the northern kingdom in particular, and the commandos represented Esau. You know, I mean, it's plain, and they show you the same thing time and again. The movie Avatar. You know, he throws it right in your face, man. You know, but they're programmed to destroy us. All right? And that's just the way it's going to be, man. You know, and you northern kingdom, you need to see that. You need to recognize you have an enemy, and we're not your enemies, man. The Lord, he's doing away with the enmity between the tribes. The real enmity is between us and the serpent. Recognize that we got a common enemy. They got us all in captivity, man. You got it, bro.
Because like you say, they publicize, you know, the atrocities of the southern kingdom and their slavery. And that's why, like, northern kingdom might forget, like, you know, because they named their children Cortez and Hernando. And
that's celebrated, bro.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, and don't let one of them marry an Edomite.
Oh man,
they don't go ballistic.
You know, like they forgot how y'all even, you know, and it's gonna tell you how they start speaking Spanish, man. You know.
For going to the New World was to find treasure, but as many in the modern era will note, wanting to find more treasure and having the stomach to continue finding treasure when things turn sour are 2 totally different things. The conquistadors are revered for their strength, determination, and ability to push through things no matter the odds. But how did they get that way? Well, before they set off on their journey, Spain was a part of the Italian Wars, which lasted over 60 years. This experience granted most of the members of the Cortez party with the ability to stare down the barrel of a fight and not blink. Not to mention, they were used to being undermanned. And
they said the Conquistadors had a 60-year war with the Italians before they came over here. So it was like the Most High was grooming them.
Ready.
Hey, what the scripture say? That sword is being furbished.
Yeah, Ezekiel.
Yeah, the Most High was furbishing that sword just to come over here for the Northern Kingdom, man.
But since you said that, bro,
Yep.
I'm gonna read this for you.
Yep.
We're just gonna go into your point. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10. Now it's speaking about the Assyrian, but the modern day Assyrian are these Edomites. Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation.
Yep. So it was the Lord's indignation, all right, that was put up on these conquistadors against the Northern Kingdom. And if you understand the history, all right, who took down the Northern Kingdom, all right, out of the land? It was the Assyrians, man. So it was
modern day Assyrians, bro.
That's them, man. They come in that same energy, man.
Yeah, yep.
Because Jake was into their idolatry and human sacrifice and shit.
Yeah, they were tripping over here.
Yep. And the Most High, he brought that sword to him, man, just like he did in the land of Samaria, man.
Yep, that's right, bro. I will send him against an hypocritical nation.
Yep, go ahead.
And against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge.
Yep, because when you go into the Apocrypha, it said, let us go into a land where no man dwelt so we can keep the law. But hell, what happened, man? They stopped keeping the law, man.
They fell away.
It was a hypocritical nation, man. Yep. Go ahead.
Now it says, will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets? Woo. Now, this is the point right here, though, because he said, how did they do it?
Yeah.
He said they were possessed.
Yep.
Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so.
Yep, his mind, all right, he can't, like, they can't tell you, why they have this such intense hatred towards these people, man. But the Most High is possessing them to be like that, man. He's a sword. He's the rod of the Lord's indignation. Man. So he's a weapon, man. A sword can't explain to you, why he's cutting you up, man.
They just meant to kill.
Yeah, you gotta understand the one that's swinging the sword, man.
Right.
You need to be trying to plead to him. You see? Go ahead.
Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither does his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few.
Woo! And they cut off empires, man. Them conquistadors came over here and shut down thriving empires over here in Central and South America, man. The southern part of North America. When you go into Florida, all right, Mississippi, Louisiana, with Arizona, New Mexico, they was all in that region, man, conquering, man, and treading down. All right, Israelites, man. Go ahead.
Right, and just dealing with the goal, because ain't nothing new under the sun, man. All right, and I'm gonna jump down to verse 14. All right. Well, I started verse 13. For he saith, talking about the Assyrian, which in this case would be the conquistadors, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, and I have removed the bounds of the people, and have robbed their treasures. Woo. And have put down. You about to say something, bro?
Come on, man. You can't make it up.
Nope.
This was written way before this happened, man. This is just prophecy playing out, man.
Yep.
You got it, bro.
And I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man.
Woo, he put down the inhabitants, man, because this is what the lands of Central and South America were inhabited, man. And them conquistadors came and laid them down, man. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And my hand have found as a nest the riches of the people, and as one gathereth eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped.
Yep. So there was nothing to be a hindrance. Wasn't no humanitarian, all right, call out for humanitarian back then, man. All right. It was straight ancient world rules, man. If you can't hold up, you finna get your ass woe out. And that's what happened, man.
That proved the Lord set it up.
Yep. There was none to hinder it, man. You know, go ahead.
All right, verse 15. Like you said, we need to plead to the one that's swinging.
Yep.
All right, verse 15. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith?
Yep.
Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it?
See, this is what Esau went too far. Because the Most High set him up to conquer us. But see, Esau went too far as if it was something within him that did. Like he was just so wise and smart, and his technology, his weaponry, you know, he gave himself the credit.
His heart deceived him.
Yep, his heart deceived him, man. You know? And he began to boast. Now he's boasting himself against the one that put him in power.
Yeah.
You see? Go ahead.
As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself as if it were no wood.
Yeah, so there's no way, or if you have a sword, you know, that it'll lift up itself and start swinging at you, man. You know, you walking in your garage, you got a sword hanging up, and it just come out by itself and start swinging at you, man. It can't do that, man. But Esau Edom, that's the mind frame show you that this man is crazy, man. He has that mind frame toward the Most High, but it came from the Most High allowing him to conquer nations through their sword, man.
That's it.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Most High deceived. But then you see, like the brother said, stop it. 144.
Oh, damn.
Cause 144 gonna conquer this madness, man. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
We gonna come in that same energy Esau came with, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's our turn to conquer, man. You know? Or Elder Malcolm would say, Manifest Destiny Part 2.
Got a Part 2.
Yeah, Part 2 on the way, man. They're coming to America too. You know?
Yes, indeed.
Sometimes outgunned, and yet they pushed through. This was one of the biggest hurdles of their crusade. They weren't able to bring in more men, yet they didn't care. They knew they could get the job done with the men they had, and that experience and determination is worth more than gold to many. So through sheer will and grit, they blasted through South America, and the world has never been the same. Number 6, the Cousins Cortez. When talking about the Spanish conquistadors, the name that most people think of immediately is Hernan Cortez.
Because it said how the guy said basically through the conquistadors conquering, the world has never been the same. Now you got to think about the Roman Catholicism that has spread throughout the entire planet Earth. You know, you got to think about all the inhabitants of the earth. You know, a lot of them that speak Spanish. Now everyone doesn't speak Spanish. All right. You know, the common language as far as the earth is concerned, for the most part, is English. You know, you go to these different foreign countries outside of America, a lot of people speak English. You know, they may have, 2 or 3 other languages they speak, but it's a common, thing to speak English. But you have a lot of people that speak Spanish too. Because going back to those 3 horns, hey, one of them was the Spanish. Mm-hmm. And you have a lot of people in the Philippines, they speak Spanish, but just dealing with the Northern Kingdom, hey, you're ruined. You're ruined, all right? When we look at, Mexico, Central America, South America, the islands, you look at Ephraim, y'all ruined, man. Because see, you've all been conquered. You know what I'm saying? Now the Spanish, their main conquest or campaign was Mexico, and also the Incas, which that's basically Peru. Peru, and also I want to say Argentina and Chile was a part of that as well, although that's a different tribe, because for the most part the Incas were the tribe of Asher. You know what I'm saying? But you had Naphtali, a part of that empire as well. But at the same time, the conquistadors, they not only conquered Mexico and South America, they also conquered the islands, man. Beginning with Cristobal Colon. Okay, now at that time they weren't just labeled as conquistadors. That title came later on. But you look at what happened to Simeon. You look at what happened to Manasseh. You look at what happened to Ephraim. These are all tribes that are on the islands. Okay, they speak Spanish too. Mm-hmm. Where did that come from?
I can add, that's where it translated, that female.
Yeah,
she came from the island of Cuba.
Oh wow! See what?
The one that they took and brought her to the mainland of South America.
There it is.
She was from Cuba.
That's it.
That was they Spanish. I mean, that was they translator that they got from Cuba. You know, showing that they had already conquered Cuba before they even came, you know, to the mainland of South America, man.
Yep.
You know, but she spoke the language of the tribes. You know, showing that what they were the same people on them islands on the. You know, how would she know the languages of all those different lands? They were the same people, man.
Yeah, she got brought to her own people just to. Hey, it's all about divide and conquer when it comes to eat. This shit is nothing new. All right, a lot of y'all seen that movie Judas and the Black Messiah. You know, there's been a talk among brothers, you know, for the last couple of weeks. But you know what? Hey, what they did with the Panthers, you know, with the so-called Black Panthers, that's nothing. You know, like you know, Elder Yashua said, that's micro. That's a minute situation. And it's divide and conquer right here. You know? But yeah, you got it, brother.
For he was the one who led the charge against the Aztec Empire and defeated its leader Montezuma in brutal fashion. Though Montezuma's revenge did get some payback, but another key man of the group was to win and conquer.
I just want to add, Montezuma knew he was an Israelite. You know, and we may come back and, you know, go into that at another date. But Montezuma, well, you can look it up for yourself. Spirit may get on you, do a lesson on it. He said his fathers told him that he came from the land where the sun rises. You know, that he came from the east. You can look it up. All right. They said they came from a place that was called Aslan, which really was the land of Israel. They just called it a different name. All right, the so-called Aztecan language, Nahuatl, if I'm saying it correctly, is basically a dialect of Hebrew, man. It's corrupted Hebrew. So they knew. And then the Spaniards, they knew what people they was conquering, man. Don't think that this is just, you know, all about, what's it, bro?
Random.
Yeah, just random. They just showed up, you know? Nah, man. And they were speaking about how the campaign really began with Cristobal Colon. And Christopher Columbus, that's what they call him. And what does his name mean? Christ-bearing colonizer or Christ-bearing conqueror. Okay? And what did he read? He read it's 4th Esdras in the Latin Vulgate Bible, you know? But basically he read 2nd Esdras chapter 13. Where it speaks about how the Northern Kingdom got over here. So don't think that he got lost. Like they tell you in school, he was, you know, really wanting to go to India.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All that bullshit. No, they knew exactly what they was conquering, man. You know? You got it, brother.
I'll just get there for you.
Oh, yeah,
just to add to the count.
Yeah.
Because when you go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and the Lord said he will bring us into Egypt, you know, by ships. Well, the Northern Kingdom got here by ships, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. Yeah.
So they came over here by themselves to set up, you know, a civilization, but they came over here by ships.
Yep, that's right.
You know?
And it's far out. It say how the Lord shall bring thee.
Yep.
Because they were guided. Hey, but you got it, bro.
All right. It says I started at 39. This is a second Esdras 13:39. It says, and whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him.
Who is the he? Yahweh Shai.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The man coming up from out of the sea. Basically, the man is gonna make his second coming. You know, from the outer atmosphere, from outer space. Let's see, when the Conquistadors came over here to the Americas, see our people. And the brothers don't get the account. See, they actually thought that this was the Lord making his second coming with the angels. They actually thought that the conquistadors were gods. All right, they revered them, and that's why they was really so quick to, you know, entreat them, you know, peaceably, and, you know, offer them gifts, you know, give them certain things, you know, nurse them back to health. A lot of them were dying, you know. But how can a god die?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they had that pale skin. You know, so they thought they was angels from heaven. It tells you that in the book Bartolome de las Casas, The Devastation of the Indies. All right, but going back to this, he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, speaking by Yahweh Shai. Now the Lord told us other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. He's talking about the northern kingdom, you know, because you know who was the fold that was dwelling in Jerusalem when the Lord was on the scene? Judah, Benjamin, Levi. So what would be the other fold? It would be the other tribes. All right, they weren't in the land of Israel predominantly at that time because of this right here. You got it, bro.
Verse 40 said, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their land in the time of Hosea.
Yep. Hosea,
yeah. The king whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive. So
right. Now it's written different right here, but it says let's say Hosea.
Yeah, Hosea.
Yeah, it's Salmanasseh, but it's talking about Hosea was the king that was in Israel, you know, a wicked king, and you had Shalmaneser, the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
See, he led that main campaign and taking down the northern kingdom and deporting them to Assyria.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was responsible for that. You know, but see, this is giving you the whole, the fullness of the account. When you read in with 2 Kings 17th chapter, this goes more in depth of what happened, because they weren't just brought to Assyria and those other lands. They weren't just brought, you know, to the land of the Medes. What happened to them after that?
Mm-hmm.
You got it, bro.
And it says, whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
And this actually happened. And you know, in Salakia, I may have to, you know, go back into it, but you know, they have records, and I got 2 of the books, but it's called History of Ancient Assyria and Babylonia. You know, it goes to the records, because that record was, you know, this information, it links to world history. All right, you can actually look it up. It's even on Wikipedia. You know, you got Sargon II, Tiglath-Pileser III, you know, Shalmaneser III, Shalmaneser V. They actually did this. So you can't say the Israelites didn't exist. You know, see how Sargon the second carried away around 27,000 Israelites. He carried them into the land of Assyria. That actually happened. That's recorded in its own Wikipedia, man. You know, and we got the books on it. You know? Yeah, bro.
And that was a common practice, you know, among the Assyrian to displace people that they would conquer, because they would deter, you know, a rebellion, you know, because they would put them people in unfamiliar lands, you know. And it started with Shalmaneser the first. He was the first one, you know, that started, you know, doing that, all right, that displacement, you know, tactic, you know, to make it harder for those newly conquered people to rebel, because they would be in strange lands. You know, they would be too occupied and trying to learn the new lands and survive, man. You know? And it says, reading on, it says, but then they took this counsel among themselves, the 2 Ezra 13:41. It said, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a farther country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land.
Now we'll know the fullness of it in the kingdom of heaven, you know, from a visual standpoint. All right, but when they were so-called liberated, you know, however that took place, you know, they had a council and they decided to come over here to the Americas. And how did they know about this land? Going back during the time period of King Solomon. You know, he had a navy of ships along with the navy of Hiram, you know, and they would make trips once every 3 years to land of Ophir, because Ophir, that's synonymous with America, you know, North, Central, and South America. Why was there so much damn gold over here? We see what Pizarro did to the Incas. How did the Incas have all that gold? This is the land of Ophir, North, Central, and South America. Look what they did to Gad, you know, dealing with the American cavalry. You know, they robbed them of their gold, man. Why? It's the land of Ophir, but it's also known as, well, it's gonna get into it. They knew what it was, and, you know, and we believe through the Spirit, you know, there had to be Israelites that went with, you know, Solomon's navy and navy of Hiram. That's how they knew how to get over here.
Yep.
It just makes sense.
Maybe because Solomon will always set up overseers over the heathen. You know, even when the heathen were building the temple, you know, that temple, you had Israelites that was overseers. I think it
Yeah.
was like 1,300, you know, Israelites that was overseeing, you know, the workers, you know, of Haram, you know, King Haram. Then you had the master mason Haram Abiff, you know, so it will make sense what was Solomon being a wise king, because see, even when you go into them cities that Solomon gave Haram, King Haram,
Come.
you know, it was like Haram was displeased.
He ain't like, yeah.
So Solomon kind of he finessed him, you know,
Yeah.
because he had got that wood, a lot of that wood from, you know, going up to Lebanon, that wood from Lebanon, but it would make sense, you know, Solomon would have, because Solomon didn't trust them niggas, man.
Yeah.
But he was just dealing with them, you know, on the business side.
Yeah.
But it would make sense, you know, just spiritually extrapolating that Solomon sent overseers, you know, to watch them niggas, see what they were doing, man. You know, when they was coming over him, you know. So somebody knew the way.
Yeah.
And then it was big. See, it was big, you know, amongst Israel to pass down information from generation to generation, pass knowledge down. You know, so the council that was had, you know, them the northern kingdom, the northern tribe, they knew the way over here, man. You know, reading on, it says, and they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood that they were passed over.
Right. And is it too hard for the Lord to do that? No. Our power parted, you know, the Red Sea, man. You know, so he held still the flood, meaning he held back the currents. All right. When it was coming down the Horn of Africa, you know. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 45, it said, for through that country there was a great way to go.
Meaning to get to that country. All right. You got a lot of Israelites, they'll break this down as Africa itself. No, it ain't talking about that, man.
No.
You know, Arsaret, well, it's like for them giving away the name, but it's not talking about the land of Africa. It's talking about the Americas right here. Go ahead, bro.
Because it wouldn't take a year and a half to get, you know, from where they was at, you know, which is like, you know, modern day, you know, Iraq, you know, in that area of you know, Syria, you know, which was the ancient part of the ancient Assyrian Empire where they were scattered.
Why would you take ships, dude?
Yeah, it wouldn't take no year and a half, man. You know, because the Gulf of Suez, not the Gulf of Suez, but what they call the Persian Gulf. You know, once you cross there from Iraq, you know, you pretty much in Africa, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it says that it's like verse 45. It says, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half, and the same region is called Ashtoreth. Arsaret, yeah.
You know, which you know, is a compound Hebrew word. You know, although it's written that way, it's really Aratazah Acharat, which means, we'll say land, another land. It means another land, which and that's in the curses too. The Lord will cast us into another land. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna look that up real quick. You got it, bro.
And it says, for though, verse 46 said, then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come.
Right, because as Elder Apostle Hart had explained, you know, basically they did an experiment trip. You had a few of them go test it out, see how, you know, how it is, and then the rest of them came. You know, so now when they should begin to come, so a few of them went at first, but then after they saw that it worked out, they went in bulk, and it makes sense. Look how much the Americas were wildly populated, man. That's not by coincidence, you know. So that was a major prophecy that took place, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, them coming over here, but also them deviating from the law, statutes, and commandments, and eventually getting conquered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's a curse. All right, but real quick, just to land back the brother, is a spirit, man. This Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse, man. I'm gonna start at verse 26, because like you said, they started committing idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
The brother had read how Jake was gonna go to the Americas and keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And this before it was called Americas. It wasn't called back then, you know. But they was going to come over here, keep the law, statutes, and commandments. But what happened? All right, Deuteronomy 29 and 26. For they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against this land to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And Yahweh rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land.
And Most High, like you say, he kept still the waters, you know, to bring them through, just to come over here. Because first they was cast into, you know, they was scattered throughout the Assyrian Empire,
yeah.
And then they was cast over here to the Americas, man. All for the sake of prophecy, man. You know, just for them to get back into their idolatry and the Lord to send that sword after them, man. You know?
For the Incan Empire was Francisco Pizarro. The crazy thing about this, though, was that the two conquerors were actually cousins. Distant cousins, mind you, but cousins nonetheless. Talk about fighting with your family, am I right? Cortez was ruthless, and during his conquest of the Aztecs, he let nothing get in his way, even burning down temples and homes to prove his point. Pizarro, meanwhile, had 4 brothers with him on the conquest, and they were the ones who took down the Incans and in the process got the nickname of the Mafia of the Conquistadors. By the way, though, this family meant business, and they got that business done. Number 5, 80%. There's no doubt that Cortez and the Conquistadors had a big impact on South America, but what some people don't realize is just how big that impact really was. You see, before the Conquistadors came, South America had a large population that had adapted to just about everything that the land threw at them. But when the Conquistadors came, they didn't just bring weapons, they brought diseases too. A lot of people passed away simply because their immune systems weren't adapted to the diseases brought over from the Old World, which is very similar to what happened during Christopher Columbus's journey to the New World. But obviously, a lot of people passed away because Cortez and his crew were just plain fine with taking out as many people as they thought they could. Numerous massacres were done just because of certain beliefs that the Conquistadors had, and not religious beliefs, mind you, but false claims and statements about uprisings and rebellions. By the time a century had passed,
and these were so-called Christians. See, that they leave that part out. These were Christians, man. You know? Hey, but everything's been exposed now, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got it, bro.
Since the arrival of the Conquistadors, 80% of the native population had been wiped out. Number 4.
He said 80% of the population was wiped out, man. And that's all according to prophecy, man. You see? And like you said, this was establishing, you know, Christianity, man, because you had something called a Spanish, matter of fact, let me get it in Wikipedia. It's called a Spanish requirement, you know. But this is, you know, the banner. This is how they justified, you know, what they were doing. All right, under the banner of Christianity, man. You know, when you go to the, yep. All right, it's called the Spanish requirement, all right, of 1513. All right. So when you go into it in Wikipedia, it said the Spanish requirement of 1513 was a declaration by the Spanish monarchy written by the Council of Castile jurist Juan López de Palacios Rubios of Castiles, divinely ordained right to take possession of territories of the New World and to subjugate, exploit, and when necessary to fight the native inhabitants. The requerimiento, Spanish for requirement as in demand, was read to Native Americans to inform them the Spanish right to conquest. The Spanish thus considered those who resisted as defying God's plan and so used Catholic theology to justify their conquest.
But you know what? You were just saying it. Like, that's basically another way of saying manifest destiny. It's the same thing, man. Hey, but you know what? Like brother had mentioned, he had quoted Elder Malcolm, your manifest destiny has a part 2, and you're witnessing this. Because see, you're not getting away with anything. We had read earlier, you know, when you shall cease to spoil, you shall be spoiled. And when you shall make an end of dealing treacherously, they, the Israelites, shall deal treacherously with you. And that's divine. All right? You had your divine appointment, and that was our divine appointment. That was our time, man. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's like we have read how when you did your thing, none made a noise, they didn't peep, they didn't, it was nothing anyone could do because it was your time. Well, guess what, devil? Now it's our time. And basically, in so many words, this guy that's narrating said that you the devil, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he said, like, some of that stuff wasn't religious at all. You just, it is what it is, E.
Yep. Hey, 80% of the population, man.
Yeah, yep.
You know, hey, the most I was pissed at the Northern Kingdom, man. And see, he's really about to come. He finna come put them same numbers up in this judgment, man. Northern and Southern Kingdom, man.
Jay about to get it.
Yeah, you wait till he unleash Esau this time, man. Because it's just gonna be a repeat with more technology, man. You know? Let's see if I can get that. But I'm gonna get that see if we can go into all right, this is Leviticus 26, all right, and 15, and it says, and if you shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgment, and these are the curses over Israel, all right. It said, now when Moses read these curses, he read to all 12 tribes.
12 tribes.
You see?
Yep.
And it says, and if you shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgment, so that you will not do all my commandments, but that you break my covenant, I will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning egg that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart, and ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. You know.
Oh yeah, and that's written too. Like, man, goddamn. Hey, read that book, The Devastation of the Indies by Bartolome de las Casas, and it tells you how, you know, when the conquistadors would eat the food of the natives, they would eat enough in a few days. It's supposed to last like for some months or a year's worth. They would just eat it up. So you can't make it up, man. Read that book, man. It's in there. I'm gonna have to do like a quick side lesson on that, man. You know, that's it right there. So, bro, they're under the curses. For you guys that want to say that the Northern Kingdom ain't get hit, they're not under it. They're under it too.
They call hell. They call hell. And the Hebrew word for egg, all right, is part of one of those curses. Is quadakath, all right, and it says fever, and you go to strong definition, i.e., a febrile disease, inflammation, all right, and it shows you the diseases they was catching, you know, from those conquistadors, man. They feel this prophecy to the T, man. You know, this was prophecy happening to these people, man.
Yeah,
you know,
so it's 80% of the population, 80%. You know, just based off of Esau Edom coming over here and our people not being, you know, immune from those diseases, man. Which I want to take a max today. You know, by this same man that did this shit to you.
Same people.
You got it.
All right. And it said, verse 17, it said, and I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you. And if you would not yet hearken for all, and if you would not yet for this all, so like if you will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins, and I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron, and your earth as brass, and your strength shall be spent in vain. For your land shall not yield her increase, neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits.
Because see, at first, the Americas, or so-called Americas, these lands were paradise. Hey, well, you read in what's that? We got Genesis the 49th chapter and Deuteronomy 33rd chapter. Well, but you know, the part where it speaks about Issachar, was it 49? But it says how he saw that land, that it was pleasant. You know, see, I find it real quick, which is basically, you know, they rested in Mexico, and originally that land was like a paradise. But see, but then this happened, because now when you think of Mexico, you know, the thought of it is dry looking. Now you got people, they'll go down to Cancun and, you know, Cabo, you know, just different parts. They may even go to like Mexico City, but it ain't what it used to be. Hey, the Lord dried that place up, man. You got it.
Jump to 25, and it says, and I will bring a sword upon you.
And that sword is Esau.
That when we talking about for the two ball cane,
yep,
traveling weapon.
Traveling weapon. Damn.
And it says, they shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. All right, because why? They was committing idolatry, man. You know, so we remember that covenant that we made, man, that was hanging over our head, man. You know, it's only through Yahweh Shai that we had got some relief, man. You know, and
hey, you Jason come to find out that what we're doing right here, this is the truth. See, truth is not subjective; it's objective, because there's only one truth, man. You know, a lot of you Issacharites, a lot of you Manassites, Ephraimites, Naphtalites, etc. You different tribes from the northern kingdom, y'all into Roman Catholicism. You know, you're basically into Christianity, and you worship the so-called white man as God. But that's a false religion, man. The so-called white man is the devil, and we're going into all the history of the horrific acts of what happened to you and your people, man. You know, but you have Stockholm syndrome. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let that shit go, man. Okay, this is what happened to us because of our disobedience. It not only happened to us, it happened to you. All right, you got it, brother.
It's a brother on the comment board. He says, this the brother Anon. I believe it's a brother Anon, Anarchy. He said the north part of Mexico is the dry part. He says his grandma is from Sonora, Mexico. So going into that land now, year the fourth is true.
Yeah.
You know?
But see, you know, originally it was, you know, plush and fruitful. You know what I'm saying? And it's still fruitful in a lot of parts. I don't take away from that. Because you can see it. Certain people, they'll go down to Mexico. It still looks beautiful, you know? But just compared to what it was when the tribes originally got over here. And they started, you know, dividing the lands amongst themselves. You know? But the point is, the curses. All right? You got it.
Verse 25, and says, I will bring a sword upon you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when you are gathered together within your cities, I will
say the Lord set up Esau as an avenger. For when we go off. Because like you said before, Esau doesn't go that hard on any other nation, man. And you see, in this devil, he's clever. He knows exactly what he's doing. Why is it that we're the main people that's working for him in his empire? When you look at all the tribes, see, no other nation has been conquered how we have, and is working for this devil like we are. You know what I'm saying? Put that together, man. Why is it that? Or why is that so? You got it.
And it says, and I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hand of your enemy.
Once again, we got to throw that number back out there. 80%. 80% of our people died, man. Because see, they was over here in the millions, maybe even billions. We don't know the exact numbers, but they were fruitful. Hey, because when you think about that trait that the Lord had gave to the tribe of Ephraim of being fruitful, that really represents the whole northern kingdom, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you know, they make a joke about it, say how, you know, Issachar is packed up into a car, you know what I'm saying? You know, all up in the house, like so-called Mexicans. Now, that's a joke, but see, that's really a blessing. That's a blessing Lord gave northern kingdom to be so fruitful. But see, even within that, man, we're not great how we used to be. Your numbers were cut down, man. All right? Because you got to question, why did these things happen? You know? Because we wasn't right with the Heavenly Father, man. Now it's time to return, man. Okay? Repent. You know? And shalom to the Akim tuning in. You know? So you know, we say shalom, man. And you know, you have a lot of Northern Kingdom brothers that have woken up. Because it's written that the elect gonna be sealed, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's for us to keep that perfect hatred for our enemies, man. And then you know that this thing that we're a part of is an Israelite thing. It's not a black thing, man. Once again.
Okay.
Distribution of gold. So, the conquistadors went to try and conquer South America and beyond because of gold, right? And let me tell you, they found a lot of gold and were able to convince, trick, or straight up take the gold from the native people. So that begs the question, how much did each conquistador get for his work? That honestly depends on which army you're talking about, Pizarro's or Cortez's. Pizarro had a very fair mind when it came to treating his men well. After raiding tens of thousands of pounds of gold from the Incan people, he gave 45 pounds of gold to each soldier and 90 pounds of silver.
Just
in gold.
Yeah, man. And see, these devils, they never could have enough. Now they have the legend of what they call El Dorado, the lost city of gold. You know, see, really, you know, they was just infatuated with the greatness of Jake. And they, you know, they have the book then what's the name of that book? Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. Basically, they tell you in that book that the Aztec, the Incan, and the Mayan empires, these were like the greatest empires for significance. The greatness of Jake, man. You know, Jake was being wicked as hell. That's why the Lord took him down. But just seeing Israelites in power, see, Esau, he's all against that, man. And the thing about it, the crazy part about it, even dealing with Gad, then you got Gad and the rest of the northern tribes, they didn't care about gold. It show you we the Israelites. Now we like it, but see, Gad and a few other tribes too, they were more into our customs, and also Jake like feathers. You know what I'm saying? Like Jake like feathers, you know, and it was a reason behind that, you know, because you had a lot of warriors. Jake wasn't just wearing those bonnets for style. Now you had to be a top chief or a warrior to get that bonnet, man. You know, but Jake was into that. See, Esau cared about the gold. Jake didn't really care about it. But the point is, man, you know, you Edomites, you could never have enough. So what's about to happen to you? Now, see, you know, the lesson really dealing with our people and how, you know, this Israelite thing, but you just not off the hook, man.
No.
You know, we in a time of you getting got. All right. Just wanted to say it. You got it, bro.
Just back what you were saying. Habakkuk 2:5, it said, yeah, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home.
And yeah, see, you couldn't keep your ass in the Caucasus Mountains. You couldn't stay in Europe. Nah, man. You had to come over here to the Americas. Is this the brother read that? Because we're speaking about Cain and Esau, your Cain. All right. Now, I looked up a word for the brother because need to keep it at home, right? Now, I looked up the word campaign. Now, remember Esau's blessing is a sword, right? And he mainly used it on our people. Now, the word campaign on the free dictionary, it says a series of military operations undertaken to achieve a large-scale objective during a war. Because see, what was the main motive? To be honest, the main reason for him doing it, like brother said, it was all for prophecy's sake. He was set up by the Heavenly Father. He was possessed to do it. But see, Esau came over here to really start his new world order. That's why they refer to this as the new world. You know, this side of the world was already known about. But see, this is going to begin the blueprint of what they call the new world order. It began with them taking down Jake. So think about that. You're the beginning of the blueprint for the new world order, man. All right, what they did to us. You know what I'm saying? Now, all right, number 2, it says an operation or a series of operations energetically pursued to accomplish a purpose.
I got a quick precept for you.
You got
Revelation 13:7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him.
That's a military campaign. It was given unto Esau to take us down. You know, because see, slavery is an act of war, man. Like we always tell y'all, we're POWs, we're prisoners of war.
Yep.
All right, and the saints are Israelites. Psalms chapter 148, verse 14. We are the saints, man. You got it?
Back and reading again, Revelation 13:7, it says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Right, that's the new world order. And it began with him taking us down. But it's beautiful because this links up with Daniel the 7th chapter. You know, it begins with him taking us down, and then he gets the whole earth after that. You know,
Revelation 13:7, what it goes into the chip.
So
it goes from the war with the saints all the way into the chip, him trying to crown his new world order.
That's it, bro.
Damn.
And they always wanted to do it.
Yep.
I want to say, I got, man, that movie Alexander Revisited. You know, they speak about the new world in so many words. They wanted to do the new world order back then. You know, they got certain scenes where they, you know, hint that, and then you got the actual history. You know, then you go into the book of Maccabees, first Maccabees. All right, but see, this the time when they really did it. All right, you got it, bro.
Back in Habakkuk 2:5, it says, who enlarges his desire is hell and is death and cannot be satisfied.
Because they didn't stop with getting the gold. It wasn't enough.
But gather unto him all nations and heap it unto him all people.
That new world order, you know? And we're speaking about that, you know, that wine, because it says how he transgressed about wine, his philosophies. Who's the main people that are drunk? You tribes, man. All this history coming out by, you know, how, you know, Issachar, Ephraim, Manasseh, you know, all you tribes, man. Because we're speaking about the northern kingdom, you speak Spanish and you have your different customs, but you're proud. That was given to you by your oppressor, man. You're drunk. Roman Catholicism, you're drunk. They're drunker, but not with wine. All right? But the point is, dealing with these people, because we ain't leaving out for you devils, man. You Edomites are not going unpunished, right? No, you got it, bro.
It's around $800,000 in modern value. So imagine what that had been worth back then. And the silver would have had less value, but still worth a lot. As for Cortez, well, he was a pretty greedy guy. So much so that he held big cuts of the gold for himself and his officers, as well as to the King of Spain. So the soldiers got a mere pittance compared to the others. It is even said that Cortez may have hid large amounts of the gold so that nobody could get to it. Always try and work for the more generous guy. That's the lesson here. Number 3, horsepower. And I do mean horsepower literally here, as one of the biggest advantages that the Conquistadors had over the Aztecs wasn't just that their weapons and armor were superior, it's that they had something else that their foes hadn't seen before. Horses. Think about it. Do you see horses that often in South America? No, because they didn't exist naturally there for a very long time. So imagine now that there's an alien force trying to conquer your land, and they're riding these beasts that you've never seen before. How do you think that's going to go over? Then you need to remember that the Conquistadors were trained on their horses as cavalry. As such, they were not only well equipped to fight the Aztecs, but they could charge them with a speed and ferocity that must have seemed godlike to the Aztecs. True,
they must have
horses
seen,
could be killed.
They must have seemed godlike. Now, you know, we were saying before that our people actually thought these were angels from heaven. So you can only imagine them having those horses that added to that perception. You know, everything about these people, man. You know, they were speaking another language, but see, all that's in the curses. The Lord will send a nation against us, you know, whose tongue we will not understand. You know,
Swifter than a leopard.
Swifter than a leopard. What did it say? That as swift as the eagle flies. You know, that's these devils, man. Come on, all right. So they're Israelites too. You know what I'm saying? So in a lot of you Jakes, the reason why you don't believe that, because you know, scriptures say how thine eye shall be evil towards thy brother. See, that's the curse too. That's part of the curses, man. A lot of you Jakes, you grew up gang banging. You know, you had a an enemy gang. You know, an opposite gang, man. Y'all was warring. You know what I'm saying? May have been Lad Kings or MS-13 or something like that. But see, that's the curses too. All right. It's all the curses, man. And once again, dealing with divide and conquer. Esau wants us to hate each other, man. You know, It's not supposed to be that way. Now, if our people are wicked, you hate them, but those are our people that are coming back and repenting to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, they're accepted, man. Because we're the same people. And especially they come back to the truth. You know? All right, but the point is, man, you know, our people, you know, they deviated, man. You know, see, there was a falling away that happened to Judah, Benjamin, Levi, but there was also a falling away when it came to the northern kingdom. We all fell away, and it tells you that in Romans the 11th chapter. You know, really, the Lord concluded us all in unbelief, the southern kingdom and northern kingdom, so He would have mercy on all of us. We didn't all failed, man. They came over here to keep the laws. They eventually deviated. A lot of us was keeping the laws in Jerusalem. We was going off, Jake being hypocrites. And then you had the Israelite foreigners that was over there, you know, within our land and outside our land, surrounding Jerusalem, tripping. So the whole nation was gone, man. All right. But what we're witnessing right here is this is all prophecy, brothers. That's a word you're going to constantly hear reiterated. Prophecy. You know, you had a scripture?
Yeah, because just as Esau was conquering, you know, on his horse, Yahushua come
back to conquer on his. Yep, that's right.
You know? So let's get it, man. It's Revelation 6:2. And I saw and beheld a white horse, and he that sat upon him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. You know, so Yahushua is going to be on that chariot. You see, because just like these horses was foreign to Gad, well, these chariots, the power of these chariots, going to be foreign to Esau. He's not going to be able to deal with these chariots, man.
This is why they call it an alien force. Alien means foreign.
Yep.
You know, it's out of this world, so to speak. But from another dimension. See, you can't deal with that. Just like our people couldn't hold up to you and your power, that sword the Lord gave you. Well, guess what? You're not going to hold up to the one that gave you that power. All right, you devil's about to meet your maker, man. You got it.
This Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse.
Same thing.
And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Yeah, because kingdoms are forged through war. That's how your empire was made. Same thing with the kingdom of heaven. All right? Our Lord is coming back to wage war, man. In particular on Edom. You know, now you had this guy, David Guzik, you know, he was speaking a little truth for a little while, which brothers know about him by now. You know, but see, he started going off saying that, you know, when the Lord comes back, he's just going to return during World War III, you know. But nah, like the Lord, he's going to address Edom. That's who's in power. With the apostles, you know, they've been speculating, in particular, Elder Apostle Hart, he said David Guzik might be a Jake, you know, which could be true. You know, we'll know eventually as far as who's who, you know, when the Lord comes back. The Lord has to separate the wheat from the tares, you know. But a lot of us, see, this thing is so deep, a lot of us even look like Edomites. All right, so you can't go by color. Once again, it's bigger than black. All right. You can't you know, disagree with something just because, you know, it doesn't fit your thought process or what you want to be real.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit your reality. Nah, man, it's what the Lord made. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we're gonna come looking like everybody. All right. But the point is, dealing with Edom, they did this, and now they about to get got. See, we're living in the end of their world, man. And see, dealing with the Mayan calendar, which you know, I had did a video on it some years ago, but more than likely you had the elders of Issachar that made that calendar because they had the understanding of the times. Now, basically, when they spoke about the end of the world, it's really the end of a cycle or the end of an age, which is the end of Edom. It's the end of wickedness, you know, that cycle of wickedness, but it really is the end of Edom. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the end of the world. Esau's the end of the world. Jacob's the beginning of it that follow. That's Yahushua coming. Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. That's the time we living in. These devils, they did their thing, and now it's over. And now it's our time, man. All right? The princes of the power, man. You know? You got it, brother.
At this play.
But their looks, especially with the writers on them, and the sounds they made was something to fear. Number 2, help from the locals. You might think that because they conquered the Aztec nation, that the conquistadors did it single-handedly, especially given their tactical prowess. But that's not exactly true. In fact, although the Aztecs were powerful, that kind of power brings a lot of enemies to the forefront. Well, Cortez used this to his advantage, especially since Spain couldn't send more men to help him. He went and found local tribes like the Totonacs and the Tlaxcaltecas, rivals of the Aztec nation, and with their help, they truly brought down the empire. But arguably just
just speak on this real quick, because we didn't got through, you know, the majority of the video. Lord willing, y'all brothers have been edified. But as you can see, the divide and conquer tactic is nothing new. Esau Edom he's done this all throughout history, especially when it came to Jake, man. Especially when it came to us. Happened during the time of the Babylonian Empire, you know, when our temple was burned. Okay, it's always happened, bro. You know what I'm saying? Esau will link up with somebody to be against us, or he'll pin us against each other. You know, they did this to the northern kingdom, as you can see. Link up with, with particular tribes, that certain tribes are against, certain tribes are beefing with. But like Elder Apostle Ariana said years ago, that has nothing to do with you. You call it a family affair. If Jake got problems, that's us between us. But see, what does the devil do? That serpent, see, he gets in between that, you know what I'm saying, and makes things work for his purpose. Turn us against each other, man. But see, now we didn't peep this dude.
Yep.
Then should that wicked be revealed? Now you see that snake in the grass, man. He can't hide himself. All right, he can't blend in anymore, man. Now you see the nigga that's been doing all this dirt, that's been troubling us all throughout history, man. As far as them dividing us. Now they did it to the northern kingdom. Same thing happened, even dealing with Jake in Africa, man. Now they don't tell you that, but the majority of the people that came over here to the Americas by way of the transatlantic slave trade, basically those were POWs, but it was really Jake beefing against Jake when you go into it, because see, we had empires in West Africa, but Jake was fighting against each other, so it was easy for Esau Edom to roll up in there, to see which tribes against, which tribes. And then you had middlemen of the slave trade, basically sellouts, that would show Esau where we at. The different Israelites that got caught, that were being, sold off. Because see, Jake was basically enslaving their own people. Same thing with the northern kingdom. Hey, when you go back to these different kings, Jake was being wicked, man. Montezuma and these different, Aztec kings and other kings of these various empires in the Americas, they had Israelites in slavery, man. So the Lord broke all that shit up. He used the devil to do it. But we was beefing against each other. Esau Edom got in between it and divide and conquer, man. It's nothing new at all. All right.
This is Proverbs 6:16. It said, "These 6 things, though the Lord Yahweh Bashim shall hate, 7 are abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked imaginations."
That's the point right there. A heart that devises wicked imaginations. But you know what? Esau Edom, he encompasses all of this. But see, he was devising wicked imaginations, turning us against each other. Because they had nothing to do with him, man. But going back to him not keeping it home. All right, that began with him troubling us, man. Go ahead, bro.
Feet that be swift and run into mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, that sow a discord among his brethren.
Divided, it conquers in the Bible. That sow of discord between brethren, man. You can't make it up, man. This nigga guilty. All right, he guilty. Esau, you guilty, man. You in trouble. You in trouble, man.
Yep.
All right. Hey, this is beautiful. I'm glad that Spirit got on the brother, and Spirit got us getting into this, man. All right, because now we're in your end. All right. That's why, hey man, you Jakes better wake up, man. Because this nigga Esau, he gonna roll again. He gonna roll on Jake again, man. All these time periods we read about him doing this to us, man, this gonna be worse.
Yep.
All right. So it's best for you to come in the truth now, man, before it's too late.
This is Amos 9:11. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen.
The house of David, which consisted of all 12 tribes. All right, go ahead.
And close up the breaches thereof.
Basically, breaches that goes to broken parts. They're dealing with that division. See, remember, our nation was separated, going back to after the reign of King Solomon. Our nation was split. You know, you had Rehoboam, you know, the son of King Solomon. He had Judah, Benjamin, Levi with him, and then you had Jeroboam. He had the 10 tribes. You know, which basically when you get really into it, you know, the priests, the tribe of Levi, they weren't considered a tribe back then. All right, so you could say that Rehoboam had Judah and Benjamin, although they had Levi too. But it says how Jeroboam had 10. Okay, because at that time Dan was existing as a tribe, although eventually Dan was amalgamated amongst the other tribes. All right, but it was split. But the Lord, He said He would close up the breaches. And when is that happening? That's happening now.
And the word breach in the Hebrew is paratazah, and it says a breach, a gap. All right, it says a broken wall.
Hey, the scriptures say how the Lord was in the book of Ephesians, how he's broken down the middle wall of partition between us. Between what? The southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. You know, and the division was where you had some Israelites that was keeping the law, the rest of the tribes weren't keeping the law. Well, see, the Lord, once again, He concluded all of us in unbelief. You know, showing you what it's not about the law, it's about Him, although you still keep the law. All right, but it says gap. You know, I mean, that's plain, man. So what we're witnessing right here is Ezekiel 37. You got it?
It says, in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
Right, it's the house of David being built up. You know, that new temple, the third temple, which is spiritual, it's the people. All right. So once again, keep saying it, man. Like the title is bigger than black. Okay. If it's the house of David was not just Judah, or just Benjamin, or just Levi. It was 12 tribes.
Yeah, that was that throne of David.
The throne of David.
Like he said. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it tells you when he began to reign over Jerusalem, Jay was saying, "We are thy bone and our flesh." Roughly paraphrasing, like we the same people. You know what I'm saying? And we've been wanting you to reign over us, going back to King Saul. You know what I'm saying? It says how he had reigned over, what's it, Hebron, with 7 years, and then 33. Jerusalem, so a total of 40 years, you know. But see, all 12 tribes being linked up, so this is really a family reunion. Now, we're being reunited in this time. This hasn't happened, man. We've been separated for a long time.
Got it. This is Ezekiel 37 and 15. He said, the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shah came unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
One stick or one plank. All right, one sign. Was our Lord said, one fold. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions.
That's a lot. Let me clarify that. He's going to make us one fold. But the Lord he was insinuating he was going to gather all 12 tribes, man. All right. But see what the brother's reading right here, this is a 12 tribe sign. And there was no need for the 12 tribe sign during the time of Ezekiel. I mean, come on, man. Don't be simple. And it wasn't like a stick, like, brother, you got the staff in the corner. It wasn't like an actual staff, you know, or a rod, you know, with the tribes on it, you know, written sideways. It was a plank. I mean, come on, man. You know? This is it now. That's why Esau, he's horribly afraid, man. Got it?
Verse 17, it says, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall come, and they shall become one in thy hand. And when the children of our people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? You know, like people come across the camp because it's a lot of Jake who will find themselves on the chart on the stick, man.
Yeah.
You know, or they'll ask about it. You know, brothers go into it, man. This is real live prophecy, real time, man.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it. You know, I'm sure, brother. Hey, we think the same thing. You know, we know through the Spirit that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua put the Spirit on High Priest Ariah to get the understanding of the tribes, dealing with the 12 tribe sign. We know that. You got certain people. What was that? The commandment keepers. But you had this, you know, this one guy, something Naphtali. Salih for butchering his name. But anyway, he doesn't matter really because he was basically, you know, speaking against Elder Abba Bivens. So, you know, forget this guy, man, for what he said. All right, but his name was something Naphtali, but he was saying how Elder Abba Bivens, he had made the 12 tribe sign. Now he may have, you know, had, you know, a partial 12 tribe sign, probably saying how the so-called Negroes are Judah, and then, you know, he said how the so-called Latinos, the so-called Native Americans are the other tribes. That may be so, but you know, the fullness of that understanding, as far as the sign, was given to High Priest Ariah, man. But it was through the Spirit, because how can it link so perfectly, man? Like brother said, real-time prophecy. All right.
And it said, verse 19, say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and will make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand.
They're one fold. Right? So we see that happening in the Spirit, man. It's going to be one fold, you know, one sign, but really one nation. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be one shepherd. And you're going to have Yahushua, and under him King David. Well, beginning with Yahushua. All right? With
verse 20, and the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before thine eyes, and say unto them, thus said the Lord power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
Now remember, the brothers reading about the house of David being built, okay? Because that one king, it goes into it as King David. You know what I'm saying? But it's, you know, it's going to be an order to it. You're going to have Yahushua, and you're going to have King David. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. So what's the next thing to happen? We got to go back to our land. See, we're not going to be teaching forever. See, people just look at us like, you know, we're just going to just continue to do this in America.
Super Bowl 60. Yeah, prophet still out. No, man.
It's ongoing. Getting old, you know what I'm saying? Now, our apostles, they aged in this thing, and they came in this thing as young men. But I believe through the Spirit, because of the signs of the times, they're going to live to see it. See, this ain't no thing we just don't be here. You know, look at the way they cutting brothers' channels, cutting pages.
Nah,
you know?
The thing getting wrapped up.
Yeah. The Lord, he about to close it out, man. You know what I'm saying? So the next thing to come is Yahushua is going to come to deliver us and take us back to our land. You know? Hey, and that's the tribes overcoming, man. That's us getting the victory over this beast in his image, and, you know, the victory over the serpent, victory over Edom. All right? So all the tribes, man, hey, we're going to be avenged, man. You know? What happened to the northern kingdom? You know, you think about what happened to Issachar, what happened to Gad, what happened to Ephraim. All the tribes, man. You know? Now, it's plain what happened to the southern kingdom, like the brother said, but, you know, the history of the northern kingdom is not widely covered. See, that's something they don't want to speak about. Why? They don't want you to have a thought in your mind that you can somehow connect these different events. Because it's so goddamn similar. You know? Wake up, man. You know, you want to say wake up, stupid. You know, the J's stupid, man. But you know, hey, the Spirit will get on those of you that's under your legs to wake up. But man, like, you can't see it. You just ain't meant to see it, man. But hey, what the brother read has to happen. You got it, bro.
Play last little minute.
Which is important. Cortez had a translator, one who was very loyal to it. She helped them understand the language and customs of the people, thus giving them key insights into what to do next. even conquerors need help sometimes. Number 1, speaking Spanish. If you ever wonder why half of South America and many parts of Central and North America all speak Spanish, you can blame the conquistadors for that. Due to their domination of the area, they took out many of the native-speaking tongues that the tribes used and spread not only their religion, but their language as well. This spread throughout the centuries and now is an established part of the Americas. Not dissimilar to how Alexander the Great paved the world in such a way that many people spoke Greek as its base language. What do you think about the impact of the conquistadors on South America?
Yeah. And there you have it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you see that Esau Edom has Hellenized the world, beginning with Jake. They brought up Alexander the Greek, you know, and we know what he did, man. He led these different military campaigns, you know, conquering the nations. He was set up to do it, but you know what happened after that? Hey, Jake became Hellenized, man, and that was talking about the Southern Kingdom. But see, the conquistadors, they followed in that same stead because it's the same people. That's why you Jake speak Spanish today, man. All right, and you proud of that. There's nothing to be proud of. All right.
This is Jeremiah 15:33, going back to the beginning.
Yep.
Lesson. It said, "Thus said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem al-Shah of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go."
That's why we still here. That's why we still here. It even tells you, going back to 2nd Ezra, it says how then dwelt they there until the latter times. You know? Hey, because when the conquistadors came over here to conquer our people, that was considered the last days. You know, when they did what they did. Now we're at the end of the end. This is the last of the last days now. Okay? But see, you see Esau Edom, he's coming in the spirit of the Pharaoh of ancient Egypt, not letting us go, showing you there's nothing but a repeat. Because the Pharaoh of ancient Egypt, he had all 12 tribes in slavery, man. Look at what Esau Edom has. You know?
Verse 34 said, "Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord Yahweh Shem al-Shah of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon."
Yeah, because we wore out, man. And he's letting you know the actual location of his people as far as in bulk. Okay? The majority of the tribes are in North America, man. Now, we're all over the earth because we're going to be gathered from everywhere. But see, we're mainly in Babylon the Great. You can't make this up. The brother just read this pertaining to Babylon the Great, man. Okay, so, hey, the Redeemer's coming. All right? You devils ain't getting away, man. It's over. You know, that little Edomite supremacy you had, man, it's fucking over. And like the Elder Apostle Gabar said, man, don't look at this place as America. Look at it as Babylon. You know, that'll keep your vision more clear.
You got it. Yeah, because a sword finna be sent to Esau just as a sword was sent to Jake. Man.
Yep.
All right. This is on verse 36. It says, verse 35, like a sword is upon the Chaldeans, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem al-Shah, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her.
Hey, is not America the great melting pot? You know, see, this sword is mainly speaking about the thermonuclear destruction, man. And as the apostles had mentioned yesterday on live, you know, the destruction for the third part of man. Okay, I mean, it's written. And what's the third part of man? Esau, Edom, the sons of the wicked. All right. See, it's really for you. Brother spoke about the Chaldeans. All right.
That's some elites.
Yeah, you elites. We're speaking about as far as America.
Yep.
You know, Esau, Edom, man. Because this whole society is controlled by way of witchcraft. You know, but like the brother said, the upper echelon that's really practicing that magic are the elite, and they the ones that control the media. They're basically casting spells on the people. All right, But when you think about America, when people think about America, when they think about the gringo, who they think about? The so-called American white man. You know?
And it says, a sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed.
And see, that's the judgment for what happened to us, because you robbed us. Now you about to be robbed. Now you about to get got. And that's the Lord avenging us, man. You know, because the way you about to go out, no one else went out that way. As a nation, man. You know, you got any closing? Like,
nah, it was well, just to say, you know, like going into the lesson is bigger than black, you know, because you had the guy, what's his name, Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, he was going into black people are God's people. No, man, it's bigger than black. All right, the Israelites are God's people, and they consist of mainly of the tribes of the people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you have our people that look like all other nations, man. You know, because when you look at like Fidel Castro, you know, when you look at him, he looks similar to Bin Laden. You know, when you look at him, you see why? Because they were scattered over there as well. Our people are everywhere. They're gonna come looking like they from Iraq, you know, from
Syria.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They everywhere, man. You see, so it's bigger, all right, than the color black, man. See, if Esau can get you to play into this black and white narrative, he has the upper hand. You know, because the history of black and white, you know, he has the upper hand, and then there's no justice written for black people in the Bible. It's a justice written for Israelites, though, man.
See, that's that wine of Babylon. That's that dust. See, as long as he can have you continue to believe that you black or you're African American, you're Hispanic, which that word goes back to Spain. You know that you're Spanish, all right. That you're Latin, all right. But you got the land of Spain, and you got Latin. That's the language of the Roman Empire. You know, you're just gonna be more confused. You know, like brother said, ain't no victory for that stuff, man. All right, see, what we're doing, this is it right here. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, for you brothers, man, just stay up, stay strong. All right, because we're about to enter into the end of this, man. But you know, we're still in the middle of it. You know, so the war ain't over yet, man. All right, so with that, Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Bahasham, Rakah, Wadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders, great millstone, still well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful leg, you brothers, man. Stay strong. We almost back this bitch, man. And with that, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Rakah, Wadash, Abad, Babal.